I'm inside and I saw Star Trek the original series Catspaw. It is directed by Joseph Penby, written by Robert Bloch, and if you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. This episode starts and we're following the USS Enterprise and they can't reach the landing party. They're hovering all above a planet and this planet has no life forms whatsoever, so we gotta have Kirk and Spock and Scotty and McCoy, those four, they all go down and they encounter life forms. Some weird ghastly witch life forms, but there was no life forms at all. What's up? What's going on here? And so they're exploring the planet, they're trying to figure out what the heck's happening, where did their landing party go? And then there's this random castle mansion kind of dealio, and so they naturally go towards it. And I'm like, okay, this is weird and strange. This kind of feels like a mirage to me. But they encounter the castle, they go into the castle, and then they fall through a hole, and in the hole they go into, just in the hole. There's a hole there. And then there's this cat with like a cute little teardrop on the cat. I'm like, what is this cat doing here? What's up with this cat? And then they're in the dungeon, and then they get taken from the dungeon to meet this guy and this cat, and this cat turns out to be a pretty little lady. She can transform into a pretty little lady. Why is she now a lady? Like, is she some sort of changeling or something? I'm not exactly sure what's happening here. I'm confused. Everyone else here is confused. But we're trying to find the landing party, and that's not hard because actually they're being mind controlled and they're being used. And they got the phasers against them. Pew, 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 pew. Get him, get him, get him. And I'm like, okay, how are these fellas going to get out of these guys' spell? We got a guy who's looking all luxurious and he's got some nice clothing, and then we got the chick and she can change into any type of lingerie that she wants. All the beautiful silky lingerie that's kind of sheer and it's nice and it looks cool and I like her. But we got a problem. We're trying to get up back to this Enterprise, but there's a force field around the Enterprise. Quite literally. We're using voodoo dolls. We're using voodoo dolls to make sure the Enterprise stays in place. And he's like, oh, look, I'm covering the Enterprise. Ooh. And then I like seeing that the Enterprise is dealing with the fact that there's like a random force field that's sprung out of nowhere and they're trying to deal with it. It's such a little weird. And I'm like, oh boy. This episode is weird and spooky. I know it's the Halloween episode 1, and I like it because it's spooky and it's proper. It's good for the holiday. But as somebody who watched this not near Halloween, I was like, it was just a little bit creepy. Ooh. This one has some horror elements to it for sure. The chick turns into a human form in order to be like, hey Kirk, you want to experience some pleasure? I want to experience some pleasure. It's time for pleasure time. And I'm like, Kirk, you shouldn't, like, you know, be under her spell. I know you're doing a bit. You're like trying to get some information out of her. She's telling you about who she is and who the guy is with her. And they're creatures from alien. They're an alien race, and they've come around from random places in space, and now they're here, and now they just want to feel pleasure, and they're here to feel all the pleasure. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's nice. But then she gets upset because Kirk did not do a good enough job hiding his intentions, and now she's really angry at him. Kirk's like, oh, no, I'm not trying to trick you at all, no. And she's like, no, get out of here, leave. You're not even supposed to be here, get out of here. She gets so upset that she releases the Enterprise. And the Enterprise is able to leave now, freely. But then the castle is breaking, it goes shaky. As a result of this, she goes freak out, and the castle goes shake, and then the castle goes, and then it collapsed. Oh, everything has been an illusion the entire time. We got these two weird creatures. The tiniest, most weirdest creatures. It looks like they were created from PCP pipe and googly eyes. It's so weird. I don't know what these creatures are. As soon as I saw it, I was like, what am I looking at? Of course this is from Star Trek. This is so weird. But of course these creatures could change their shape, change anything if it's an illusion, it's an illusion. It was all an illusion. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. They encounter an illusion. They're trying to find the landing party who is under their control. And they have the mass illusion powers that it is that they have. And I like this episode because it's spooky, but it's not my favorite Star Trek episode out of the other ones. There are other ones that I'm like, I would like to watch that one more than once. This one, I'm like, I'm fine with this one. I don't have to watch this another time. I mean, you got the Catspaw. I like her jewelry and I like her lingerie, but like, and the weird alien body at the end. But it's weird. This is a weird episode, and it's actually kind of makes me uncomfortable. What do you think of this episode? This episode gives me the chills, just like right now. It's really cold outside. Oh boy, I'm in a chilly planet. Ooh, I better get them Enterprise to beam me up soon. Well, I gotta get this episode. I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't watch it again. I think I'd give it like a solid 7.1 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one the platform really likes that. If you want a fast track movie review, you can do that for $20 deals at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grindiness of all them daily movies, go to this link tree, find a way you can help support the daily grind of all them daily movies. So I can go here. And until next time, mint salad sauce. See you later to my salad croutons and bacon, bitch. Boop. Beam me up.